The DJI Mini 4 Pro, it's one of the most popular drones ever made, right? But here we are in 2026, and a couple of years after it came out, it's hiding some seriously dangerous secrets that could really cost you a lot of money. Okay, let's just dive right into this.
So, here's the big question on everyone's mind. Is this still the best drone you can get under 250 grams? Or has it basically turned into an expensive paperweight? That's the core question we're going to answer today. And let me tell you, the truth is way more complicated than you'd think.
And, this quote right here just hits the nail on the head. Buying a DJI Mini 4 Pro in 2026 feels like a safe bet, but if you do it without knowing about the hidden firmware lockout, you're basically buying a very expensive paperweight. Look, that isn't just hype, it's a real problem a lot of new owners are running into, and we are going to unpack exactly what that means for you.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First up, we're going to expose what I'm calling the 2026 Mini 4 Pro trap. Then we'll stack up its specs against how it actually performs in the real world. After that, I've got an essential troubleshooting guide for you that could save you a massive headache. We'll also see how it stacks up against its big brother, the Mini 5 Pro. And finally, we'll get to the bottom line. Should you buy it, wait, or just send it back in 2026?
All right, let's jump into our first section, the 2026 Mini 4 Pro trap. We're going to focus on a really critical firmware flaw here. Honestly, this is the single most important thing you need to get about this drone right now.
This slide just lays out the problem perfectly. It's what I call the remote ID catch-22, and a ton of new owners are getting caught in it. So here's the trap, right? There's a bug in the latest firmware, version v01.00.1100. If you fly with the standard battery to stay under that 250-gram limit, the drone's remote ID broadcast just fails a lot. This can literally stop you from taking off and puts you in a legally sketchy spot. So you think, okay, I'll just use the bigger plus battery. But the problem there is now your drone is over the weight limit, which totally defeats the whole point of the Mini series for a lot of us. You're stuck, You have to choose between being legal and actually being able to fly.
And it doesn't stop there. The firmware problems keep on coming. I mean, just look at this chart. The way ActiveTrack 360 has been degraded is it's a huge problem. A whopping 80% of users who updated their firmware are reporting big issues. In my own tests, what used to be this amazing, rock-solid subject tracking system now can barely even recognize a person if they're more than 15 feet away. It's gotten all twitchy and unreliable. It's just a shadow of its former self, really.
So here's the quick recap on this section. A seriously flawed firmware update has created this legal trap with remote ID. At the same time, it's crippled the drone's once amazing ActiveTrack system. It's like a 1-2 punch that's really knocked this drone down a few pegs.
Okay, let's move on and see how this all connects. Next up, specs versus real-world flight. This is all about the gap between what's promised on the box and what you actually get when you're out flying. Yeah, this really is a tale of two sensors. On paper, the specs look pretty good, but when you get out into the real world, especially in low light, that 1.13-inch sensor is really starting to show its age. I mean, don't get me wrong, in broad daylight, it's fantastic, you can see that here. But for city shots at night, it just falls apart. Take a look at all that noise in the shadows. Push it past ISO 800 and it just becomes this grainy mess. That's a huge drawback compared to some of the newer drones out there. Okay, now let's talk about the 04 transmission system. The promise was this flawless, super long-range, rock-solid connection. But the reality? It's sudden, total video cutouts. I've had this happen to me in just regular suburban areas, with only minor things like a house or a few trees in the way. See, with the older systems, the video would get choppy, you'd get a warning, but 04, it can just drop instantly. You go from a perfect signal to a black screen in a split second, and that is incredibly dangerous. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom, and this slide really highlights the one spec that absolutely 100% delivers, that true vertical video. The fact that the gimbal can physically rotate 90 degrees to shoot in a 9:16 aspect ratio for social media, that is still a total game changer. It's not some cheap digital crop, you're using the whole sensor and it looks amazing. Honestly, there are way more expensive drones that still can't do this right. All right, now for the thing that a lot of reviews just kind of gloss over, the build quality. Let's call it the honest deal breaker. To get under that magic 250-gram weight, the plastic on the arms is just incredibly thin and fragile. If you have even a minor crash or just a hard landing and you snap one, you're looking at a repair bill of anywhere from $150 to $200 if you don't have DJI Care Refresh. For a beginner, that's a massive financial risk to take. Okay, so let's wrap this section up. The Mini 4 Pro's real-world performance, especially in low light and with its signal, it just falls short of the hype. But that vertical video is still a major win, and you absolutely have to be aware of how fragile this thing is.
Alright, so if you're an owner right now and you're feeling a little bit of buyer's remorse, don't panic. Let's switch gears to something more helpful. This is Section 3, your essential troubleshooting guide, where I'll show you how to fix these common issues from 2026.
And you want to hear the best part? The cost of these crucial software and calibration fixes is zero. Nothing. You don't have to spend a single penny to solve some of the most frustrating problems with this drone. You just got to know the tricks.
So here it is, your 3-step troubleshooting checklist. Let's go through this nice and slow. Step 1 is the Wi-Fi fix. If your controller gets stuck in that awful resource download loop, just swipe down, turn the Wi-Fi off, and then turn it back on again. I know, it sounds way too simple, but it actually works. Step 2, the calibration fix. If your drone is drifting or the horizon isn't level, you have to run a full IMU and gimbal calibration. Make sure you do it on a perfectly flat surface. And finally, step 3, the battery hack. This is for those annoying remote ID errors. Before you take off, let the drone get a solid GPS lock. Then power everything down and restart the whole system. This basically forces it to recheck the broadcast status, and it usually clears the error.
So the big takeaway here is really simple. Before you start to panic or think about sending your drone in for repair, just remember this. Simple restarts and calibrations, they can often fix the drone's most common and most infuriating software glitches. Alright, time to move on to a big one, especially if you're thinking about buying. It's the Mini 4 Pro versus the Mini 5 Pro. Is that upgrade really worth the extra cash?
Let's use this table to break down the key differences. So the biggest upgrade on the Mini 5 Pro is, without a doubt, its larger 1-inch sensor. That means much better low-light performance. But the truly critical difference is a feature called Dynamic Home Point. What this does is it lets the drone update its return to home spot to follow you and the controller in real time. This is an absolute must-have if you're filming from, say, a moving boat or a car. The Mini 4 Pro just can't do this. If its return to home gets triggered, it's going to try to land where it took off, which could be in the middle of a lake. Now, on the flip side, the Mini 4 Pro does have a more natural-looking color profile, which some pro color graders might actually like better than the super high-contrast look you get from the Mini 5.
So let's recap that real quick. The Mini 5 Pro has a better sensor and that crucial feature for any moving shots, but the Mini 4 Pro might be the better choice for people who do a lot of heavy color grading.
And that brings us to the grand finale, the final verdict. Should you buy, wait, or return the DJI Mini 4 Pro here in 2026?
Okay, let's make this super simple and actionable for you. My advice? Buy it. But, and this is a big but, only if you can find a refurbished Fly More combo for under $750. At that price, it's still a fantastic value. Now, I'd say wait if you're looking at its full retail price, which is close to $1,100. For just a couple hundred more, the Mini 5 Pro is just a better drone, plain and simple. And finally, return it, and don't even think twice if you mostly fly in dense cities or suburbs with a lot of signal interference. That 04 signal dropout is a real safety hazard, and it's just not worth the risk. So, to wrap this whole thing up, the Mini 4 Pro is a very capable drone, no doubt. But here in 2026, it's really being held back by some serious firmware and build quality problems. And I have to leave you with one last critical warning. Please listen to this carefully. Whatever you do not use unauthorized third-party tools to try and roll back the firmware. I know people are trying it to fix the bugs we talked about, but we've seen so many reports that doing this can permanently fry the GPS module, basically turning your expensive drone into a useless brick. So, to put a bow on all of this, I want to leave you with these 5 questions to ask yourself before you pull the trigger. Number 1, is my budget under that $750 sweet spot? 2, do I absolutely need to film from a moving boat or car? 3, where am I going to be flying most of the time, out in the open country or in packed suburbs? 4, am I really prepared for those fragile arms and the potential repair costs?